Hello everybody, my name is Mike. Welcome back to the Aeroteam channel. Today we've got another Build of the Week episode. We're taking a look at this Convair 880. It's in a giant scale, and it is in an Alaska Airlines livery. And this thing was built by Crazy, who's in front of us right here, and also Jay. And then along with us in the call, we're going to be hearing from Oliver and Quill. So anyway, we're going to take a look around this thing and go into the interior and check everything out. And Crazy, real quick, do you want to add anything before we get started on this build?
Well, this was for a server competition that we did on the server back in 2022, 2023, I don't remember. 23, yeah. And it's super fun. Jay and I decided to build together, and we got third place, which means that there are, cooler builds, but it's still super epic, and I'm glad we got to build it.
No, this thing is really cool. Like, for whatever reason, no one ever builds these Convairs, or there's quite a few other like historic airliners that no one ever like builds. But yeah, I really appreciate it.
There's
this build,
many historics.
Yeah, there's so many historics to choose from. This is so cool. I think I forgot which one I was talking to with someone about, but I was like, I really want to just build one of these historic ones where you have the low bypass engines and you've got 4 engines on each side, and then everyone will see on the interior there's like a crazy interior. But anyway, let's walk around this thing. The Convair 880 had a really aerodynamic nose for its time. I'm pretty sure, I might have read this somewhere, but they had used some more advanced techniques for designing the nose of the aircraft, which is why it's a bit pointier and it's a bit more like you see today, modern aircraft, where the nose is more at the same angle as the cockpit glass, because it disturbs the airflow less and you get less flow separation, reducing drag. Anyway, you've got a painted nose cone fairing for the radar dome, and then you have, what is the little, I know eyebrows are the glass above, what do we call this black mat thing that is right below the cockpit?
A mustache? I don't know.
I don't know what it is, I'll be honest.
This is definitely an Oliver's somehow gonna know the answer to this.
No.
Anyway,
No.
a bunch of retro airliners used to do this.
I think it's like to stop reflections into the...
Yeah, that is exactly what it's for.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but he's exactly right. Stop reflections. A lot of airliners used to have it. They don't anymore. Don't ask me why. Don't know much. But anyway, we can look around the front. So you've got some details right there. And then you've got the nose gear. And the Convair 880 had a little bit of an interesting nose gear door. Like, Crazy, can you explain what is happening here? Like, it doesn't open outwards, it opens backwards.
Yeah, so like it has like your normal 2 doors in the front that fold outwards, but then the main nose gear door is behind the wheel, so it just slides down with the wheel.
Continuing on, another really weird thing about this Convair 880, and Crazy, I don't know if you can talk to this one when you built it and if you understand it, but the doors look so weird.
They're just, I don't know what they were thinking when they made them, but they get wider as it gets taller, and I don't know why.
Is this because they're like Huh?
What was that?
Is this because they were like thinking that like people are wider up top because they've got arms, and so we need to make it wider for their arms or something? I've never seen doors like this on an airplane before.
Yeah, I have no idea. I originally, like when we were building it, I just kind of assumed, oh, the doors will just be, equal width from the top to the bottom. And then Jay sent me a photo of a Convair, and he's like, what the heck are these doors? And I'm like, wait a minute. And yeah, it makes no sense to me why they did it, but it kind of looks cool, so.
Anyway, continuing along the aircraft, you've got the massive Fly Alaska text. And then you've got some details on the underneath of it. And Crazy, you used to be an Alaskan resident, correct?
Yes.
Are we allowed to share that information?
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care at all.
Cool. Crazy used to live in Alaska, so I assume you've got a deep love for Alaska Airlines.
Yeah, 100%. They're the best airline, without a doubt.
Fair. I hear a lot of people saying that. So is that one of the main reasons why you guys chose Alaska to do this livery? Because there are quite a few really cool liveries on the Convair 880 and 990.
There are. I kind of wanted to do this livery just because I'd never made a large-scale Alaska Airlines livery before. Like, at the time, I'd done like a 3-to-1 Max 9, but I wasn't able to cram in as much detail as I wanted to. And so when we were deciding on what plane to build for the comp, Jay's kind of famous on the server for making like outlandish, nobody's heard of it type aircraft.
True.
And so he's like, let's do a Convair. I'm like, sick, Alaska Airlines had Convairs, let's do it.
Yeah, that's sweet. And the livery, I mean, it's evolved quite a bit since then, and it looks really cool. What exactly is the logo that we see on the tail and then on each side of all of the engines?
It's I think it's supposed to be a bird. I know that much. I don't know exactly what it symbolizes.
You used to be a resident Alaskan. What is the Alaska state bird? I don't know the answer to this. What is the Alaska state bird?
It's probably like an eagle or something.
Okay, we'll just go with that. Like,
Alaska
it used to be an eagle. But anyway,
it's a willow ptarmigan. Never mind, I was way off.
Interesting.
Those are delicious, by the way.
We'll say it's a willow ptarmigan. Anyway, but it looks really cool. You can see it on the tail, and then you can see it on the side of each engines in the same color of the retro stripes on the fuselage. And then coming around here, you've obviously got your wing lights everywhere, landing lights, etc. You've got your main gears right here, and these things are huge. Crazy, what scale is this in again?
It's a 6-to-1 scale.
Yeah, so for reference, this is like how big it is compared to just a normal person. Yeah, and there's crazy.
Actually, to scale with a Minecraft player.
Oh, yeah, that
Pretty
would
crazy.
actually make perfect sense.
Yeah, perfectly.
But anyway, you've got the gear and then the gear well in here, looking pretty detailed. And then what I really love about old retro engines is that they had these here. Let me do this so the viewers can see better. They had these really weird exhaust patterns, and I'm pretty sure these were ways of increasing the efficiency of the engines. You don't see this anymore because today we have high bypass turbines where lots of air goes past the actual engine part, but back in the day all of the air just went through the engine, and by doing these like flower shaped outlets you were able to increase the thrust of each engine. And then you have the pylon, loads of detail. You guys did a really nice job. And is this a real thing where there were vents like on the side of the aircraft or the engine? I've never seen that.
I think Jay did the engines, so that would be a question for him, but he's not here at the moment.
Okay, but anyway, we can continue on. Did you do the wing or did Jay do the wing here?
We both did it. Yeah, both did the wings.
Yeah, because the layering is really good, and you did something that not a lot of people have been using, which is this cut redstone slab, and it goes really well for doing the outlines of the details for the... Can you guys hear that?
Yeah,
I can, yep.
That's awesome. Oh, was that in the background of your...
Yeah, this... Welcome.
Okay.
I live in the middle of a city, so... Anyway, coming around, you've got lots of details. The navigation light right there, and then the like lining, because you have the slats at the front, but around here these aren't slats. It's just the lining coming around to add detail. And I don't know if you like noticed this and did this on purpose, but is it supposed to get like slightly pointy towards the wingtip? Is that how it is on the Convair?
Yeah, that is exactly how it is.
That's really interesting. So almost like a raked wingtip, but like way before raked wingtips were like properly a thing.
Yeah.
And then we can come around. You'll notice that airlines didn't really have big wing boxes or wing fairings back in the day. There's a few reasons why they used to didn't really get the aerodynamic advantage, and then they didn't really take advantage of larger wings, so you didn't need them. but that one's something interesting. So you can see really limited wing fairing over here. And then coming along, you've got another one of those really weird doors. And then you also have what I'm gonna assume is the registration. Did you guys pick a specific registration for this aircraft?
We did. It is N8477H.
Okay. I love how whenever we build in this game, everyone always picks a specific registration. It's just amazing to me. Like, every time we've done one of these videos, there's always a specific one. It never fails to amaze me. I would just do some random plane and just slap the livery on it. But you guys, way more dedicated and better builders than me, so it's okay. Anyway, coming around, we got the tail. The tail looks really good. It is the bird that Crazy said earlier. I don't even remember the name. It sounded complicated.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know what type of bird it's supposed to be, because yeah, I know willow ptarmigans look nothing like that, so I have no idea.
So it is a bird, and we're just gonna assume that it is a bird. But anyway, horizontal elevators here too, and you'll notice a lot of old planes had these really weird, almost antenna-like features on the tips of their tails. The Convair doesn't have it, but it has it here on the horizontal elevators. Some were used for devices, some were aerodynamic. They had different purposes back in the day, but it's pretty interesting because you don't see them anymore. Anyway, continuing along the build, you've got lots of very nice layering.
Crazy.
And then
I have a question.
Yeah.
The logo on the tail, the two sides are different. Is that an actual thing?
Wait, they're
Is that
different?
Yeah, if you look at the front of the bird.
It is.
One of them's
That's,
a fat bird and one of them's a skinny bird.
One
That is
second.
why you're third in the competition.
Anyway, this is the other side of the aircraft, but we can go ahead and head on inside and look at the cargo hold really quickly. So you've got a pretty simple cargo hold right here. I'm gonna assume this is before the time that they really started using crates in aircraft. And this would have been a narrow body, so it's really bulk cargo anyway. That was the aft one, and we can go ahead and go onto the forward cargo hold. Looks pretty simple. It's a cargo hold. It carries cargo. That's what it does. And then we can go on into the interior and start ourselves off in the cockpit. Now, Crazy, who did this interior? Because it looks really good.
I did the cockpit, and then Jay did coach and first class.
Okay, sweet. I noticed this when we were with Frog earlier in the previous episode. The interiors on this server have just been getting more extravagant every single time we look at them. You've managed to incorporate like basically every single dial and every single little feature in here. Can you walk us through a little bit of the interior that you did for the cockpit?
Okay. Well, you got your throttle down here with your trim and a bunch of other stuff. Got your yokes over here. I am not very well educated in retro aircraft cockpits, so I can't tell you what everything is, but I just kind of put buttons down like what I saw in the photos, kind of color matched them the best I could. You have, let's see here, these white buttons. I think there is like one for each engine,
Okay.
which is interesting.
Where's the chemtrail switch?
But yeah, this is a really good looking cockpit. And then of course, it's a retro aircraft, so it wouldn't be a retro aircraft without having a flight engineer. And back in the day, you used to have a flight engineer to monitor all the gauges and all the different things that were happening on in the aircraft. Today, thanks to the advent of glass cockpits, everything is digital, and so you really only need, and it's handled by a computer now, so you really only need 2 pilots to actually fly a plane now, but you used to have 3 and sometimes even 4 in a cockpit.
Crazy, what are these green things over here?
Those are like some sort of gas tank. Like, I think it's for, I don't know. I just noticed them in like tons of photos, so I decided to recreate them.
A lot
Um,
of old planes had really random ass shit in them all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, crazy. Is this a real thing? So I'm assuming the Convair 880. Convair is an American brand, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. They're American, or they?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Thank you. Now, obviously, this plane was built well before a 9/11 and lots of terrorist attacks happened. Is this a real thing where there is a window into the cockpit, or was this just done for the sake of this build?
There was in fact a window into the cockpit.
Which is just insane when you think about it today. But back then, it was fine. It was normal. That's what people did. And so you could see into the cockpit. But anyway, outside of the cockpit, you obviously have your really bizarrely shaped doors. And I noticed that your R1 door, so your service door, is like way smaller than your
Yeah,
L1 door.
it's very tiny, which is something we noticed in photos, and the diagram we were using to pixel count to measure out this build, it showed the doors as being really small, and we backed it up using like photo layering and all sorts of that stuff. I don't know why. It's like that on the A220 as well, where
Yeah.
the service door is a lot smaller than the L1.
And then
I don't know why.
The Embraer E-Jets also have a similar thing with smaller
Yeah, they
doors. But anyway, next to the service door, you have a galley, and obviously it's an older galley, or a retro galley, and so you've got a lot more color. The interior is all red. It looks really cool. You don't have that anymore, which is kind of sad. This like all the color in an aircraft. But yeah, we can continue on into what I think is Oliver and Quill's favorite area, which is this massive first class lounge. Now, I know you said Jay did this area, but can you talk us a little bit on like this first class lounge? Because retro aircraft, all these airlines used to have massive lounges.
Yeah, so Alaska Airlines' lounge was pretty unique. We found through photos. So like on all of Google, I was only able to find 1 or 2 photos of Alaska's first class. And it's really interesting because all the seats are different, like slightly different colors. And there's almost like a pattern of colors and seats as you'll see in Coach. You got like 2 tables and then these 2 side-by-side seats you see here, as well as 1 seat that in Minecraft looks very uncomfortable in the corner. But then there was like artwork in the aircraft. So like these, I think they're coral or another rails that we stuck on the walls here. There's like bears, I think.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, you wouldn't get these today.
Still amazed that the seats are like sideways like this, so away from the windows.
It's
kinda-
almost.
It confuses me, like, why would you do this? But it's also like comfy. I don't know.
And
It's
it
weird.
reminds me a lot of a private jet in the way that this is designed. And something that doesn't
Yeah, it
remind me
does.
of a private jet is up here. Back in the day, they didn't used to have overhead bins. They just had rails, and you would just put your luggage on them, which is what we see right here. Obviously, today they realize that's a whole safety issue, because luggage could just fly off. But back in the day, they used to do this, and so it's actually a really cool feature. You can come up here, put your luggage up, and it works like that. And then coming back, we have economy. We'll go through this one quickly because it's a bit repetitive, but it looks really cool where you have the alternating colors. It's in a 3-2 layout. It's pretty simple, but so much color, especially for back in the day. And then we can come and look at the labs back here, and they're all completed. Whoever did these did a really nice job. And there's another identical one right there. And then in the back you have another galley, and then a jump seat right here. And I think that's basically it. So we can head on outside, and if any of you would like to add some final thoughts on this one.
I think I've seen everything. There's so many things I've learned from builds like these of historic airplanes, because I never actually was like interested in them. But seeing like, for example, with the nose gear going up forwards is so confusing to me, or like so interesting as well. I don't know. It's an amazing build overall, though.
Yeah, it was really good. We say thank you again to Crazy and Jay for making this thing, and we hope that everyone who watched enjoyed this video, and we'll be back in another couple of weeks with another episode of Build of the Week. So my name's Hind. I was joined by Oliver, Quill, and Crazy, and we thank you for watching once more, and take care. Bye bye.